Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Doug's vlog. And we started the week off with a long pause bench press. He got 335, which we're pretty happy with. Again, because of the nice long pause. Again, he's not peaked for a meet. Sorry about the view there. He had some interference in the way. All right, for supplemental work, we did floor press to start off, although we may be swapping in just some dumbbell work coming up here in the near future. Again, just to let some stuff rest a little bit for him. Again, a little bit of tendon inflammation and things. But are doing 2 supplemental presses for now, but again, we're going to need to back that down a little bit. It's getting to be too much, particularly with the JMs added in. So we're doing very, very high rep dumbbell presses. And again, keeping in mind, he benched 352 at his last meet, which is right around double his body weight. Strong bencher. But that doesn't mean that we don't continue to work on the bench press. Yes, his deadlift is his weakest lift, but it's coming up. But we still work the bench and we still address his weak links. And right now, it's pectorals. And some people would say, well, how do you know that? Well, look at his strength on JM presses, right? He does just fine repping out a plate. Okay? We don't have lockout problems on his bench. He can incline bench well over 300 pounds. I think we've inclined 330. I believe that's his best incline max. Right? Delts are good. Like delts are really good. So you look overall, you can tell his chest just needs to come up. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a big chest. He's got a 350-pound bench presser chest, which is a big chest. But if we want his bench to go up, we have to continue to address that. So, of course, we do, some rowing and stuff in here, which I don't think we got footage on the upper day. We do some rowing, band press downs, JM presses, all that stuff. We continue to work triceps. We're being a little more picky with our supplemental work, with a bias towards pectorals. All right, safety bar squat. I think that was 427, if I recall, 427. Okay, so max effort lower, we did that. Then we do some Romanian deadlifts, which have worked wonders for his deadlift. His deadlift has been coming up. In fact, I've already got footage for his max effort today for the next week. So this vlog's coming up. I'm recording it a couple days after he finished the workouts. I'm getting a little behind on vlogs. I need to film like 4 of them now. The Romanian deadlifts are helping a lot. They're really helping with that hamstring weakness. Hamstrings have really been a problem for him, and erectors to some extent, but hamstrings have been a problem for him. So we're working them up. So for supplemental squat work, we're doing step-ups, right? I'm letting him use his safety bar, which is a convenient way to do these. Like if people have a safety bar, I love using that for stuff like step-ups and lunges and whatever. Otherwise, we'll go over to dumbbells. But mainly just the amount of time that a person is doing this stuff. I don't want them, doing a straight bar, a normal power bar, because it just puts a lot of strain on the shoulders for, such a very long time. Plus, we're already squatting and everything with that bar, potentially most weeks. And again, I just don't want to aggravate people's shoulders. And I will admit many people have great shoulder health, great shoulder mobility, and it's not an issue for them. But for a lot of lifters, it can be. And because I do tend to work with a fair number of masters athletes like myself, things like just wear and tear on our shoulders really add up. And it's not even really from the benching, it's from some of the other stuff that we do. These things just accumulate. Now, Doug doesn't have any of these problems, but there's no point in creating them. There's no point in creating these problems. But yeah, that's almost cardio right there. Right? That's almost cardio for him right there. Which he does a lot of cardio. He actually does a fair amount of lifts, which for someone like him who struggles with eating and bulking is actually funny because it makes it harder. But he does that for his blood work, for his health, everything else. But in his case, Doug eats ice cream. He eats ice cream every day because otherwise he can't gain the weight that I need him to gain when I need him to gain weight. He just doesn't have a voracious appetite. He's got a fair amount of muscle mass. He's very, very physically active, so his calorie burn is very high. So we also, on this day, we do reverse hypers. And I've got him because, again, when we talk about hamstrings, we talked about hamstrings. Well, here you go. Hamstring curls. Doing those hamstring curls. All right. These are beneficial. In fact, I thought about adding these in myself. But a lot of my clients who have hamstring weaknesses that we need to address, if they don't have all the equipment that I would like them to have, a pair of bands. And I don't think I've had people do these in the vlogs. I've had plenty of clients do these. This may be the first time I think I've actually had a vlogger doing them. All right, because the majority of my clients don't do vlogs. But I'll give you an example of a client who I put through a lot of those. Would be Justin, for example. You guys have seen his individual clips of some of his max lifts over the years, going back 3+ years, right? I've had him do those periodically. Perfect example. All right, dynamic effort upper day. Of course, we do speed bench. Then I'm having him do dumbbell presses to, again, bring up those chesticles. That's something that comes up also. People will ask me, hey, what about flies? I'm like, why would you ever do a fly? And I mean that. Like, why would you need to do that? Are your triceps just so monstrously big that you need them to shrink? Right? A fly doesn't do anything that a dumbbell press doesn't do for your pecs. So if pecs are really lagging, why don't you just do a dumbbell press? You'll get some tricep work thrown in with it. Unless, again, your triceps are just so monstrously massive that you don't need them to grow at all because it's just, hideously disproportionate. But is that really a problem for anyone that most of us know? Pretty rare problem. So I wouldn't say never, but for most people it doesn't make sense. Of course, you guys know I have a lot of my lifters do laterals. Exercise I'm very, very fond of. I program pretty routinely for people, especially ones who have any sort of aesthetic goal, right? Or anyone who has a shoulder weakness. Right? They're a great lift. They have great stimulus to fatigue. They're one of the proven best exercises just for all-around delt development. They're easy to recover from. We can handle the volume. Of course, in dynamic effort lower day, we do all the same stuff. We do speed box squats. We do speed pulls, and Doug only pulls conventional. He doesn't mess with sumo. A lot of my vloggers, you guys will see, do a lot of sumo. We don't do that with Doug. Of course, he does all his RDLs, his step-ups. But again, for the sake of brevity, I'm not including a lot of that. I like to trim these down to under 10 minutes if possible. Again, it's just better to keep them there. But here he is finishing off with some of those hamstring curls. All right, finishing off with the hamstring curls. And in spite of his bulk, he's still at a pretty good body composition. Doug is now at the heaviest body weight he has probably ever been at in his life. Definitely the heaviest body weight he's ever been at with me coaching him. We've been bulking him up, getting bigger, and then he cuts really, really easy, by the way. So for him to drop 10 pounds of body fat, it's like, just cut the ice cream out. That's it. Just stop eating ice cream and he has a six-pack. That's all he has to do. So, his body composition has stayed pretty good, all things considered. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.